I am Alessandro Ugo. I directed the reality talent show Leyton Orient.
Benvenuti a Leyton Orient, il grande talent sul calcio di Agon Channel.
Well, I got asked to get as many lads as I could to go over to Albania to represent Orient in this TV show.
It was kind of embarrassing as far as an entertainment show. It was absolutely useless.
During the matches, I would shout, "Fuck you, Italians, go home!"
Again, it was just another disaster before it even got started.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of The Circus Upstairs.
I'm James Masters, journalist and long-suffering Leyton Orient fan.
You are long-suffering because you say that every time.
I'm still suffering, Matt. I'm still suffering.
In any episode, you won't be suffering.
Come back to me at the start of May and I'll tell you.
Fair point. I'm Matt Simpson, author of the book Leyton Orient Greats, not available in any good booksellers.
Is it available in any bad booksellers or is it just not available anymore?
I'm going to get a plug in for this book in all 12 episodes in a slightly different way, but I'm slightly running out of ways to do it. But anyway, on to more important matters. Episode 3, the episode that I've been most looking forward to, because we are going to devote this entire episode to the horror show that was the Leyton Orient reality show, simply called Leyton Orient. But before we talk about Leyton Orient, the reality show, I should mention that Leyton Orient were the subject of a reality show once before in the 1994-95 season. What do you remember about that documentary, James?
I just remember John Sitton being very, very, very angry and wanting me to bring my dinner.
It's funny you should say that because I'm literally going to play that clip now.
If you play your like, I'll fucking stick with you team. Because if I'm going to take abuse from a bunch of cockroaches behind me, I'll take abuse by doing it my way. And that is fucking conformity, not fucking non-conformity. So you little cunt, when I tell you to do something, and you fucking big cunt, when I tell you to do something, do it. And if you come back at me, we'll have a fucking right sort out here. All right? And you can pair up if you like, and you can fucking pick someone else to help you, and you can bring your fucking dinner. Because by the time I'm finished with you, you'll fucking need it.
So, the first thing I want to say is that we are definitely getting an E for explicit for this podcast, thanks to Sits. The second thing I want to say is that Orient actually got relegated that season. So we have 100% record of being relegated whenever we're the subject of a reality show. Bear that in mind. And thirdly, for those of you that were wondering, that infamous reality show is actually where we derive the name for our podcast. Here's John Sitton again.
Don't be coming back at me when I'm shouting at you above the crowd and above the next bench. Because I'll run this fucking football club until I'm told otherwise by the fucking circus upstairs.
I think what, that rant was alluding to was something which, all these years later was kind of apt at Orient during Becchetti's reign, because for all intents and purposes, it was an absolute circus. It was one of the most farcical, unbelievable, surreal experiences during my time of supporting Orient. And if you think of all the things that have happened to our beloved football club, that is quite something.
Yes, indeed. And obviously, Francesco Becchetti did not choose to study or learn any lessons from the first Leyton Orient reality show, because he decided to bring the TV cameras back to Brisbane Road once again in 2014.
Benvenuti a Leyton Orient, il grande talent sul calcio di Agon Channel.
It was actually confirmed in October of that season that the club was going to be the subject of a new reality show. Francesco Becchetti, as well as his many other business interests around waste management and Leyton Orient Football Club, launched a TV channel called Agon Channel, and that launched in November, and there was a big launch party. Becchetti was there himself, and some of the Leyton Orient players were invited. So let's have a listen to Nathan Clarke, who was one of those lucky players, about what happened on that trip.
again, unbelievable, really. We were sat 3 or 4 rows behind Nicole Kidman. It was just a completely different world.
Did you meet Nicole?
Well, not personally, but we certainly, like I say, we weren't too far off from her, which was again fantastic. But up on stage in front of thousands of people representing the club was a really good experience. So yeah, I think if things were different and the club were doing really well, it had been a fantastic time. But unfortunately, the club and results weren't going the way they should have been.
Did you? It sounds like quite a few of you went over to Milan. Did you get the chance to party a bit?
We went out we got taken out to the chairman, had a restaurant or a friend of a restaurant, and we were taken out for food with his family and friends, and then, like I say, yeah, we got left to our own devices, which was nice. To go for a few drinks with Romain and Darius was good.
Amazing. So it sounds like, for starters, meeting Nicole Kidman was to die for Nathan Clarke.
How long did you work on that one, Matt?
I've got her filmography up in front of me right now. It seems he was dead calm about it.
Sounds like they had a really good time, doesn't it? I mean, when we spoke to Nathan, he was very honest about what had been going on at the club. But this reality TV show is just, from the very start, just seems something so completely bizarre, I suppose.
I thought you were building up to a Nicole Kidman film-related gag there.
No, I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole, Matt.
It's not one of our most famous films, but that is a film. Anyway, my question to you is, how highly do you think sitting in the vicinity of Nathan Clarke ranks in Nicole Kidman's own career?
I think she'd probably say it's up there. I think it's up there. It's probably, I don't know if she's ever been to Stoke on a cold Tuesday night, but it's probably up there with that if she has. She probably went home. I imagine she went home and told her friends that she'd met Nathan Clarke, the Orient centre-back.
The other 2 players that went were 3 players that went were Romain Vincelot, Darius Henderson, and Gianvito Plasmati. So,
yeah, I thought it was interesting, Matt, that Nathan said that he went out for drinks with Romain and Darius, but didn't say that Mr. Plasmati came with.
Very telling.
So interesting.
Right, can you explain the format of the reality show Leyton Orient?
I'll give it a good go, but I think it's almost like an X Factor style program. So you've got 12 players all competing to win a contract at Orient, and each week one of those players is eliminated. So they take part in various training exercises. They play matches against the youth team, and each week there's a big show, a live studio show with an audience in Albania, with different celebrities looking at what's been happening during that week.
And importantly, broadcast only in Italy, but the live show filmed in Albania.
That's the audience you're trying to reach, isn't it? I imagine Orient are massive in Italy and Albania, aren't they?
Let's listen to what Tom Jeffs, who, as a reminder, was the commercial manager at Leyton Orient at the time, had to say about the reality show.
That was just like it when he came, and they used to occasionally just come out with these like mental ideas, and you'd sort of think, is this, when you're sat there and you're thinking, is this a joke or I don't know. And because the translation was poor, you're very much like, yeah, I don't know, should we just go with this? Is this real? Or and that came about out of a conversation where he said, I want to do a TV show, and we're thinking, oh right, about the football club, that's fair enough, it's got a lot of history, it's been through a lot, etc. It's into a new era. And then it was very much no about making Italian footballers. And then all of a sudden, just these footballers just turned up, and they had all the kit, and they were doing like photo shoots, and they were being paraded in the lounges, and they were doing videos about them. And
I'm really excited to say that we managed to find the director of the reality show, who was an absolutely lovely guy called Alessandro Ugo. And we had a really good chat to him. So let's listen to what Alessandro had to say about the reality show.
So basically, I was contacted by an old university classmate, and he was from Albania, and he started to work for Agon Channel, which main studios were in Albania. So basically broadcasting in Italy, Albania, and some other countries. And out of the blue, I was called, and in less than 3 days, I found myself directing and producing reality shows all over 3 countries.
So Alessandro and his crew began filming around the club, and it's probably fair to say they weren't necessarily welcomed with open arms. Here's what Alessandro had to say.
So when I started to film, we didn't exactly know how the relationship between the Italian guys and the actual team would have been. So myself as a director and producer, of course, I try to ease the situation as much as possible. However, it's been a bit difficult because I know that when we started the reality, there was some tension in between the team. We can say that the team was not 100% happy of having a reality show being filmed.
So the main presenter of the show was a woman called Simona Ventura. I think it's fair to say she's not a well-known name in the UK. So I asked Alessandro who she was.
So I can say Simona Ventura is the most famous female presenter of Italy. You know, since the mid-90s, you know, I used to watch her when I was a kid. And she presented, she's been live every single day for 30 years, seriously. So, you know, when I heard it was Simona Ventura, I was, what?
So my Auntie Carole has lived in Italy for many decades. So I took the opportunity to talk to her about Simona Ventura to try and validate what Alessandro said. This is what she said.
She was a kind of a B-list celebrity. She'd be on things like where these celebrities go on an island and that kind of stuff. She was married to a Serie A player. So that was her claim to fame.
So she's married to a Serie A player. It wasn't Fabio Liverani, was it?
No, it wasn't. It was Stefano Betterini. You've heard of him, haven't you, Matt?
I'm going to say no.
No, well, he did play. He played for Cagliari, played for Fiorentina, he played for Sampdoria, played 8 games for Parma, and he did make 1 appearance for Italy in 2004.
There you go. I also took the opportunity to ask my Auntie Carole about the rest of the cast. So there are a number of other celebrities, or let's call them celebrities, who appeared on the show. So remembering my auntie has lived in Italy for many decades, so is very familiar with the Italian celebrity landscape. Let's see what she had to say. I've got a list of some of the other people that appeared on it, and I just wondered whether you knew who any of them were. So one of them was a model called Giulia Salemi.
No, never heard of her.
Barbara Faria.
No.
Fulvio Colavati.
No.
Nicola Berti.
No.
Fabio Galanti.
No.
Matteo Materazzi.
No.
Giancarlo Padovan.
Giancarlo Padovan. Sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't know who he is.
A real star-studded lineup then.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately, we couldn't actually watch the show. We saw a few clips on YouTube, didn't we? But it wasn't broadcast in the UK. So I asked my Auntie Carole what the show was like. You watched the show. How many episodes did you watch?
Oh, only the 1. That was enough.
Okay, go on. Take me through what happened.
It was kind of embarrassing, and it was kind of sad because they were so hopeful and they really thought this was going to be their big opportunity. But as far as an entertainment, the show, it was absolutely useless.
Do you know a single other person in Italy that watched the show?
No.
I love that. So no one's watching. Perhaps as a consequence of this, the producers of the show decided to shoot a video of the participants lip syncing to a popular song, which was released to Orient fans. And I think it's fair to say induced quite a lot of rage. Do you remember that?
Well, I've tried to like blank it out of my head and blank out existence. A bit like on YouTube, where actually now it's also been blanked by YouTube. You can't find it anywhere. There's no history of it. You can search for hours as we have done, and you aren't able to watch it. And that's probably a relief for everybody. But as if we weren't already a laughing stock on the pitch, now we're also a laughing stock off the pitch. And I think people at this point just thought, I mean, we're already thinking what the hell's going on, but now it seemed like we'd almost become the sideshow and that the reality program had become more important.
What did the video entail?
So the video was of the hopefuls in the reality TV show lip syncing abysmally to the song "Best Day of My Life" by American Authors around an empty Brisbane Rose Stadium.
In their pants, I recall.
In their pants, yes. Well, why not? I mean, if you're going to do it properly, eh?
Our friend Alessandro directed that video. Let's have a listen to his take on it. Well, one of the things that we did get to see over here was a video that was cut for the show where the Italian players were miming along to a song. And were you the one who directed that?
Don't make me say that. I was the one who helped doing it, yeah. So, what can I say? I'm trying to be politically correct. So, what I can say is, if I could have total control on it, I would have done certain things differently in order not to have the result we have. So basically, I can say I really liked the idea at the first time. So, you do a music video of the guy lip syncing a popular song, pop. All right, great. The problem was we had no time for the rehearsal, meaning we had 1 day to prepare it. I would have taken an extra week, and the final result, was not ideal to be broadcasted. And I know that sparked the anger of Leyton Orient's fans. I myself, sometimes I watch it, when I clean my hard drives, that music video comes up, and I watch it and say, we wasted an occasion to do something good. So, again, if you ask me, was it a good idea? My answer is yes. Did we have time to properly put that good idea in place? No. That's it.
Was it a good idea?
I'm going to go with no.
I think, thinking back to that time, like the reality show could have been, let's say, if we were top of the league, pushing for promotion, an amusing sideshow, a nice way to give Orient a bit more exposure internationally. But the fact that we were performing so badly on the pitch meant that fans were actually pretty angry about this going on and saw it as a massive distraction. Certainly saw that the attention of Becchetti was very much on this TV show, not the club. So I think it actually upset people pretty badly. Let's have a listen to what Alessandro's take on that was.
I knew that the fans were not happy, like in actually 2 occasions, I was, during the matches, I was shout, fuck you Italians, go home. But it's funny because I'm half British, but But honestly, I understand them because, from the point of view of a fan, when you see your team with a new management not performing well, and at the same time, a lot of energy and a lot of money spent on something extra like a reality show, in the head of a fan, you're, what the hell are you doing, mate?
And then let's go back to Tom Jeffs, the commercial manager, for his take on what was going on.
It became like everything was about this TV show, and they were doing these like live interviews. And no disrespect, I've played semi-pro football, but these players, they were bad, really bad, and to the point where you know what it's like when you see someone training or on the pitch, you know what someone's like straight away, and you're looking and thinking, these boys are going to be a million miles off. They're not even anywhere near. And I remember that they had this idea that they were going to be the future team of Leyton Orient, or Leyton Orient Italian team. And again, it was just another disaster before it even got started.
So I was wondering what these players were actually up to when they weren't getting beaten by the Orient youth team. So I asked Alessandro again what was going on. Where were they all living?
Agon Channel rented like a house in the stop after Islington. Is it Canonbury? Yeah, so it's Canonbury. So just a couple of minutes from the station. So they all lived there. We actually filmed a few not football related clips there. So like when they celebrated the Christmas, or where they tried to cook by themselves for the first time. So, and of course, when you have 12 teenagers living together for the first time, it was quite of a mess.
Yeah, I'd say it was a mess in many more ways than one. We checked in with Dave Victor, journalist who's covered the O's for many, many years, and got his inside take on what was going on around the reality show.
His priority initially seemed to be the TV, and that definitely seemed to be above everything else during the course of the week. You talk to the ground staff, because you'd have the Italian lads from this reality TV show on the pitch, training on the pitch with the cameras and everything. And I can remember the difficulties we had in the press box. There were just so many cameras and so many different crews, and they just dominated everything. And post-match, they dominated everything. And again, I think it was just a reflection of how football was almost a distraction at that point.
Do you think the reality show affected the players and on pitch performances?
I think it affected everybody. I think, again, when you talk to Matt Porter and others about the season before then, they talk about the whole club working as a team, from Barry Hearn and everything that was happening off the pitch being as good as what was happening on it. And I think that's very much part of it. And you got a culture where what was happening off the pitch felt for a while to be more important than what was happening on it, and that the TV took over absolutely everything. And people that were employed 24/7 at the club were told that the TV was the priority. And you can't run a football team, and you can't expect the focus to be on the starting 11 if everybody's been told, no, the focus is this TV show.
So as the TV show drew to its conclusion, 3 players, Nathan Clarke again, Chris Woods, the goalkeeper, and Chris Dagnall.
Gary Woods, no?
Oh, shit, yeah, Gary Woods. Chris Woods was England number 3, I think, during...
in the 1990s, yeah.
The Shilton era.
We might have signed him, I don't know.
Yeah. Nathan Clarke, Gary Woods, and Chris Dagnall went out there to Albania to appear in the live show for the finale of the reality show. So let's have a listen to what Nathan Clarke's take was on that.
Well, I got asked to get as many lads as I could to go over to Albania to represent Orient in this TV show, which was a hard task to try and get a couple of lads to come with me to Albania. But yeah, Chris Dagnall and Woodsy came with me, and again just to promote the TV channel, the winner contract at Orient. That was certainly a strange experience, but one to tell the kids, I guess.
So it sounds a bit like you didn't have any choice.
No, I didn't have much choice. No, unfortunately, I got told, I can't remember what game I was coming back from, but got told on the coach from an away trip that I needed to get a couple of lads to come with me to Albania. So yeah, quite a lot of lads pretended to still be listening to their earphones and music and whatnot while I was asking the question. And thankfully, Dags and Woodsy said that they would do it.
So what was it like when you went over to Albania and appeared on the show?
Yeah, it was strange. We got picked up from the airport by a girl and her driver. We got taken to the hotel, told when we were getting picked back up and to be ready at this certain time in suits and whatnot. And yeah, it was on a TV show, listening to the translation through our headset, and yeah, answering the odd question that got thrown our way.
What sort of stuff did they ask you?
They were just asking what it was like to be a professional footballer, what the club was, how the club was doing in the league and things like that. Just the general things, really. But yeah, it was certainly a strange time.
You said you were there for a couple of days. Apart from appearing on the show, what else happened? Did they take you out on the town, or
not so much take us out? They left us all to our own device. Really, we went for a bit of a wander, went for a few drinks, and like I said, just try and sample a little bit of Albania. I know it doesn't sound great, but yeah, it was a chance for us to have a wander around and again just be together. I think, if I can remember rightly, we'd got money to go and have food and things like that. That was all paid for by the club. So yeah, well, by the chairman, sorry. So yeah.
Ever been to Albania, James?
No, but I've heard good things.
I hope they took advantage of the many cultural highlights of Tirana.
Yeah, you got it right. You weren't sure, were you? You weren't sure.
You saw the look of fear on my face there. Good. My geographical knowledge of European cities has shone through. Brilliant. So controversially, instead of anointing one winner of the talent show, they actually gave it jointly. So the winners were Andrea Paloni and Jacopo Colangelo. Apologies for the pronunciation. What was really strange was, remember, the whole point of it was that the winners would win a contract with Leyton Orient. It just got quietly forgotten and just basically never happened. Do you remember?
Like it never happened. But I think Tom Jeffs kind of gave us an insight as to the level of those players that were on the programme. And if you look at where they went on to play, Colangelo was playing for a semi-pro outfit below Serie D. And then Poloni was last seen playing in Serie D, so I'm not sure either of them would have cut it at League Two level.
What level would you say Serie D is compared to English football?
I don't know. I'm not big on my Serie D, but I wouldn't want to take a guess. But I'm guessing somewhere below the conference.
So I repeatedly emailed Alessandro Angeleri, the CEO, to ask him when the players were intending to arrive. I just found it outrageous that you could shoot a whole reality show where the prize is a contract with Orient and then just not do it. And he actually wrote back to me once or twice, said, news is coming soon on this, and then just gave up responding to me. And it just never happened.
I'm sure there's only Auntie Carole's the only person who watched it in Italy, isn't it? So maybe there's probably like 5 or 6 people still wondering who won the reality TV show.
I mean, the guys themselves must have been mildly upset that they were promised a contract with the illustrious Leyton Orient and it never materialised.
Maybe we should try and get them on the show.
I actually did try that. I spent quite a long time genuinely trying to find them and have not succeeded yet. But Andrea, Jacopo, if you're out there, come talk to us. We'll get Rob Gagliardi to translate. on that note, we've come to the end of the episode.
I really enjoyed that. Thanks, Matt. That was really good. Nathan Clarke was a good sport.
It was more fun than I imagined watching the programme Leyton Orient, the reality show, was.
Certainly more fun than watching the team that season, I'd say.
It's a low bar. So we're going to get back to the football next episode. We are going to rejoin Orient, sitting 23rd in the table with 26 points from 27 games going into February. And we are going to find out whether Orient managed to pull themselves away from the relegation zone and survive by the skin of their teeth. So on that note, I will thank you all for listening again and look forward to seeing you on episode 4.
Arrivederci.